This is the South Carolina Paranormal Research and Investigations Podcast with your hosts, Paul
and Carolyn. We are a ghost hunting group that investigates the Palmetto State.
Hello, welcome to our very first episode.
We're here to talk about what it is we do with our group. What's our group about?
We'll have other members on in the future, but today it's just going to be me and Carolyn. We're going to discuss different things, different topics about what the group does. The group's been around for about 11 years. It was founded in August 26th?
Sure, why not?
2007? I can't remember right off the top of my head. I haven't been in the team for the whole 11 years, but I've been with the team for going on 3 years, not quite 3 years now.
And I've been with the team going on 2 years now. And we have, altogether, we have 24 members. And we have 5 board members.
And Carol and I are both board members. Why don't you tell people about what you do for the board?
For the board, I'm actually a team trip coordinator. Where if we're not investigating residential homes, which is what we normally do, at least 2 to 3 times a year, we'll do what we call a fun trip. And we'll go to a lot of the places where you've seen a lot of the ghost hunters do, famous we try to do, but many local jails.
We love jails and hospitals. We did the Crime and Punishment Museum in Ashburn, Georgia.
It was just recently.
Yeah. We're going to the Charleston jail soon, and hopefully we'll get a lot of good stuff for that when we'll have like an episode for the Charleston jail. That would be pretty cool.
Yes.
And I would like to get Liz from the Chester jail to come be on the show. So hopefully she'll come be on the show. She helps coordinate everything there.
And we just did the Chester jail last year.
Yeah, Chester jail, yeah. I'd like to get her on. I know she's done some other interviews, so maybe she'll come on and be ours.
Why don't you tell, you're a board member too, why don't you tell them what you do for the board?
What I do is I coordinate a lot of our events. So what that means is I do a lot of our fundraising. So I set up our yard sales, I set up our meetings and times and dates and all this stuff, and I try to get it pretty far in advance so everybody on the team has a pretty good heads up of what's coming and when it's coming next. One of the things we are going to do coming up soon is the Krampus Festival, and I believe it's the Krampus or the Charles Dickinson and Krampus Festival. I think they've kind of combined it. I'm not sure. I got to get some more info on that coming up. But we'll be there December 1st, and we're probably going to be doing some raffles for that to raise some funds for the team. So
we'll have a booth set up, so please come see us.
Oh yeah,
and we'll give out more information in another podcast.
Yeah, we should.
You can go on our website or Facebook page.
Yep, and we should be doing some a presentation there. So if you want to come out and see some of our evidence and meet some of us, come on out and stop by our booths.
We are a nonprofit organization. We investigate residential homes where people will go on our website and request an investigation because they're hearing knocks or they're getting smells or something just isn't right in their home. So we'll go out and investigate and to let them know and validate if anything they have to worry about or it's just little bumps and knocks in the night.
EMF sickness, which is going to be a good thing to talk about. EMF is electromagnetic fields, and that is something that a lot of your electronics give off, but also in the paranormal field, people believe that's kind of what makes spiritual energy. So if you're in a room and you're surrounded by a bunch of appliances and your EMF detectors are going off, it's the appliances. But if you're sitting in a room where there's nothing around and you're picking no electronics and you're picking up electromagnetic fields, that might be an indicator that there's a spirit or spiritual energy nearby.
A lot of the older appliances or electronics that you have give off big EMF readings, so that is a major contributor to, as they call, headaches and things like that.
Yeah, EMF cause headaches. Makes you feel like someone's watching you.
A bit of uneasiness.
Yeah, hallucinations. One of the first things I like to do when we go in a home is check the alarm clock. If they got the old like digital lit up red alarm clocks, because those give off a lot of EMF, especially if someone's saying, I'm waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning every morning and I feel like someone's watching me. So that'll be something I can test, and then we can debunk that and say, hey, it's your alarm clock, you need to get you another alarm clock.
A lot of the small fans that you have next to your bed sometimes give off big EMF readings as well. So
yeah, we had a case you weren't on that case. Me and Melanie were on that case, and we were in the basement of this house, and there was a room set. They had set up a bedroom in that room, and they had this teeny tiny little fan. It was like a little desk fan or something. And it was giving off crazy amount of EMF, and we were like, well, that's probably a contributing factor of one of the things that's going on around here.
Right.
So, what's your favorite piece of equipment, Carolyn?
Oh my gosh.
What's your go-to when you go to the case? You're like, I gotta have that when I go in this house.
Besides my voice recorder.
If you hear scratching noises in the background, it's my dog.
Most equipment we just got was the REM pod. That and I would have to say the spirit box.
Spirit box?
The spirit box is my go-to.
Mine is the voice recorder. Other than the voice recorder, I think everybody loves a voice recorder because you're more likely to get evidence on that. You get the EVPs, the electronic voice phenomenon. So you get EVPs. So you'll ask questions, you get voices back. You'll hear voices, and that I always still get excited today, as I did the first time I caught my EVP. I'm just like, yes, I got an EVP. This is pretty cool. I also like I have to have my K2 also. The K2 to pick up the EMF. That's the go-to things. I like the spirit box some, but it's something I kind of save towards the end of the night. I don't really use it. I kind of like to use that towards like the last. I know I'm wrapping it up in a little bit. Then I'll bring it out.
I actually like to use it in the beginning and the end.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't. I think I just save that. I feel like that's the okay. I might have something because you don't really know if you've got evidence on your voice recorder until the end. So it's like the last chance you're gonna get to get it. Evidence. So that's when I bring out the spirit box.
But if you really stop and think about it, you could be missing them times when you're not using it either.
Yeah.
So saving it where you might not get something at the end, but that one time during the beginning when you do use it, you do capture something.
Yeah, true.
So I like to use it periodically through my investigations.
Well, see, that's why it's good going on a case with you, because you can take the spirit box and go at the beginning, and I can go somewhere else with somebody else, and then save that for me for the end.
Right. I like to do it throughout,
Mm-hmm. Well, have you ever followed, I've done this a few times. It's maybe 3 times now since I've been on the team, but with a K2, followed EMF around a room, and just you're standing in one spot, you pick up a little, or not necessarily a little, but you get a blip of EMF, and you're like, oh, okay, and then it's gone, and then you walk like a few feet, and then you find it again.
I've never had that happen. I've tried, and you just get that one spot and go around, and it's nowhere else to be found.
Yeah.
It doesn't move, doesn't do anything, so
I
haven't had it happen to me.
The same house I was telling you about with the fan in the basement. We did. Me and Melanie followed after we left that room with the fan. There was the actual basement where they were using for storage. We followed that EMF around the room, and me and Melanie both had a K2, and it was both the same thing. And then she said that she felt like something touched it right before it went off the last time. She's like, I knew it. You're right there. And I've done it at Old South Pittsburgh. And I think that's the only 2 places I can think of that I've actually done it. Maybe 2 to 3 times. There's probably one other instance, but I can't remember where that was right off the top of my head. But every time that happens, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Nope, I haven't had that experience yet. So, but it's one I'd like to have and try.
So, me and you are both board members.
Yes.
So, let's talk about the other board members and kind of like what they do. So, I'll start with... Well, I'll do Darlene, and then you can do Angie.
Okay.
So, Darlene is our case manager. So, if any of y'all have ever had us come out to your house or contact anybody, you've probably talked to Darlene. Probably 90% of you or more, because every now and then it's me or Carolyn or Angie that handles new cases if Darlene can't get to them. But Darlene she gets all the requests in. She reads through them, see what's kind of going on at your house. She calls you. And she sets up a date for the team to come out and investigate. So pretty much everybody's has had contact with Darlene. So I think that's pretty cool. She gets the first contact typically, and I think that's pretty cool that she does that. And she loves doing it. Let's talk about Angie.
And Angie is actually our treasurer. She takes care of our finances. Each month as investigators, we give ourselves a $10 a month fee that we go, and that goes towards new equipment or team trips, for snackage or anything that we can't come up with, she's actually in charge of
batteries.
Yes. And if we have new equipment and it needs to be taken care of, we go to Angie and she will purchase it for us. If we have enough from the fundraisers, if people donate, which we have a donate button on our webpage.
She keeps up with all that.
And our member fees all go towards new equipment. And we say, hey, Angie, we need to order cases. Like, we need a case for a new equipment that we got. She will look up and see what she can find, and she'll purchase a case for us.
Yep. And Sydney has probably been with the team the longest. She's been with the team. I think the team is 11 years old, and I think she's been with it for 10 years. So she wasn't there the first year it started, but she joined there soon after. And she's our director. She helps set things up and advises stuff, and we usually ask her hey, I don't know how to do this with the website. So like I was building the website, so she's done more website stuff than me, so she helped me build the website.
That's what we do individually, but as a board member in whole, we actually have meetings and we'll come together to determine if we have an investigator in training, if they've had enough time and we feel as though they are a right fit for our team, we will vote between us to see if we want to add them on to our team, and we do a lot of the decision making.
Yep. So any kind of new rules that come up, we kind of vote on that. If I find an event that I think would be good for the team, I'll present it to the board and we'll kind of vote on that. So like we went to the Lizard Man Festival back in June. I found that. I was like, I think that would be really cool for us to go and have some outreach for the community and do a presentation. So I sent that to the board and we right away voted on it and got us in there as fast as possible. And then ended up doing a presentation because the idea originally was just to have an information booth, and then they invited us to do a presentation, so that was pretty cool.
Yep, and if we have an issue with one of our investigators, we will vote on to see what course of action would need to be done, which we haven't had so far. So yes. We've got a really good bunch of investigators on our team, and they've been awesome.
Yeah, and actually we have so many members at the moment. We're not taking new members, and that's usually like rare.
Very rare.
So just in the last month, we were like, okay, we can't take any more applications, can't have any more people. And if you ever wanted to join in the team in the future and it opens up, you just fill out an application, and then you have to come to a meeting first before we allow you, because we want to meet you, because there was people signing up and then they would never show up to anything, and so we just kick you out, so because we never hear from you. So now you get that invite, you come to the meeting, and then you can do stuff. So I feel like if you come to the meeting, that actually shows you really want to be on the team. You're not wasting our time.
And with our podcast, we will give everyone on our team a chance to get to know them. So one of the team members will be with a podcast with us and, tell us their experience, what their funny story or what got them into it, how they are doing on the investigations. So,
I think on our next one, we're going to try and get Bill and Melanie, who actually will give you a slight introduction. We're not going to give them the whole story because we want them to come on and do that, but we'll have Bill and Melanie come on and talk about how they were originally clients, and then they joined the team after we investigated their home. And then we have...
we also have honorary members, yep, which they are clients with us, and we've just come to love them so much. There's Will and Jeffro, yep, which you guys will get to know. We're going to have them on a podcast as well, but
they treat us like rock stars.
Yes, and we just love them so much.
And you can check them out. Also, they're also on our team page. So if you go to www.scprai.org and go to the team, you can actually scroll down and look through all our members. And Will and Jeffro is on there too. And you can see the founder, Shelly. She's at the bottom. She's no longer with the team, but we still keep in contact with her and ask her for advice from time to time when we feel like we need it. So, Carolyn, what got you into the paranormal, and what made you want to join the team?
I've always been interested into what is actually on the other side, if there is anything on the other side, and I never really knew what to do. And I had actually gotten on Facebook and liked your guys' page and was following you. Then one day I seen you guys post about if you wanted to be an investigator to apply. So I contacted and they set up a meeting, told us to go to the next meeting. So me and my friend Tracy, we went to the meeting and we just connected with you guys, and it was so good. And we ended up like a month later going on an investigation, because we have to do 3 investigations before you can
become a team member.
A team member. And it was just such an experience that you get to see a different side of it than what you see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you, like any other paranormal person, you sit and watch the paranormal on the TV and you're like, oh my gosh, when it's all actuality, it's like nothing like that, in a way.
Yeah, I always tell people, I was like, throw out what you see on TV, because it's like you end up sitting in, I just tell people, you end up sitting in a room in the dark half the time.
Yes.
You're not sure if you've got anything until, you know, you get home and you start going through all the footage. So it's like, it's not like what you see on TV. It's not always buku crazy like it is on some of those TV shows.
And I know, with me growing up in my grandmother's house too, you know, you always get the fear of a basement. Well, I never have fear of a basement. You know, a basement's just the basement. It's just, people think it's dark. But in my grandmother's house, every once in a while, I'd be fine down there, wouldn't think of nothing, you know, go in, do what I gotta do. And they had a little side door with it, you know, back then they called it a fruit cellar, where you put all your canned goods and all that. And I'd go in there, not a problem, go upstairs, shut the lights off. I can be down in the basement, lights off, and not have an issue. But every once in a while, the hairs on the back of my neck would just stand up, and I'd just get this uneasy feeling. And I'd end up running upstairs.
Ignore my dog. My dog is not going to be separated from me. And so he is in the room. So just ignore any background noises. It's not a ghost.
And so I just always knew that something was there. And come to find out, there was actually a man and his 2 sisters lived there. Mm-hmm. That was just them. And they died there. But it was like, it wasn't a feeling of they're out to get you. It was just so uncomfortable, uneasy feeling that someone's following you up the stairs. So
yeah, I don't think I ever really had a paranormal. I mean, I guess I did have some strange things here and there, but personally, like, I remember growing up reading the books about Bigfoot and Loch Ness. It was like a book. I couldn't tell you the name of it today. It was a book, and it was like all these like unsolved, like, kind of like paranormal mysteries, and being like really into that. And then as I got older and started reading novels, I was like reading The Vampire by Anne Rice, The Vampire Chronicles, and then they had the Talamascus, and they were like paranormal investigators. Right. And I was like, I want to do that, and wishing that something like that was real. And then as you get older, you're like, well, there is something kind of like that. It is kind of real. Right. Of course, we're not getting paid like they do in the novels, right. But that's always what I wanted to do. And then when the opportunity came for me to actually be able to join the team, I was like, I jumped on it. I was like, yes. And I've been here. At first, I wasn't sure if this is where I needed to be, but then I had a personal experience on a case, and I jumped right in. I was like, I'm where I need to be.
Yes. And my first EVP I ever got was on a case at Will and Jeffro's house. That was the first EVP I ever got in my whole life, and I was just like so in awe and so excited.
I caught the same EVP from across the room,
and it was just
at that whisper, yeah.
It was just amazing because there's nothing like it. And once you hear that first EVP, you get hooked even more because it's just amazing.
So my first EVP was at Old South Pittsburgh, and I got it by mistake. So what I was doing is I was taking pictures with my phone, and I accidentally switched to video. And it took me a minute to realize what I had done. And you can hear me say, you can't see anything because it's really dark in the room. And you'll hear me say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm on video. I didn't mean to do that." And then at the end, you get a little whisper of video. And that piece of evidence, when I got that, I just like sent it to Angie. Because, like, at that time, this is before you were on the... Or you had just joined the team, but you didn't get to go on the trip.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there, Angie, I was like, I got an EVP! And then I'd, like, had to have surgery, like, right after that. So I was just... The whole time I was, like, recovering from surgery, I was listening to my evidence because I was stuck. I was basically stuck in the bed. We don't have a TV in our bedroom. So I was stuck in the bed just listening and writing down stuff so I could clip it later.
And then it's like, you have to send it to the other because you're not really sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys, you got to listen to this. Just let me know that I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
That I'm not everyone hearing this. And
well, that's another one, like, another one of my favorite EVPs is, like, I usually write down I'll write down the timestamps on the recorder, and then I'll clip them later. But when this is actually on the website, I was at a client's house I've been to a few times down near Somerville, and this is the second time I went there. And as I'm setting up the equipment, I always have my recorder rolling the minute I walk in at home. So I'm always recording. I usually have like 5 hours recording to go through every time. Typically, some people don't start recording until it's time to actually start investigating, but I like to go walk in the house and be recording. So you can hear us setting up in the background. There's a fan going, and then, like, really close to the recorder, you hear, "Hey, Paul Sanders." And I was just like, oh, well, I gotta clip that. Gotta clip that right now. And that's
like the ultimate, though, to say your name.
Full name. So I was like, yeah, I went straight to the computer, plugged that thing in, and clipped that, and sent. You hear sending to Angie? I don't know if I maybe sent it. I sent it to like 4 or 5 people. Are you hearing you hearing what I'm hearing?
Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think I listened to the "Hey" like 4 or 5 times. So I wasn't even sure I got the. I didn't even know I had the Paul Sanders. I just kept, rewinding to hear that "Hey," and make sure that's what I was hearing. And then I let it play 2 more seconds. I heard the rest of that. I was like, "What?" And my jaw just dropped. But that was pretty cool.
Would it be messed up if I was doing this podcast and we actually run it back through and hear an EVP? Now that would be even more insane.
Where's the sage? Where's the sage? I got Palo Santo right here.
You've already been doing it out today. I'm just saying, that would be kind of cool.
That would. Hey, well, some of these places we will be recording our podcast in people's homes. So, like, we'll be at Bill and Melanie's. We're going to record there. So you might actually catch some EVPs while we're recording there, and at Will and Jeffro's. So that would be pretty cool.
Yes, definitely.
I haven't really ever seen like a full apparition, but at Will and Jeffro's one time, I don't know if you were there that time. Were you there with them, Robin? It was Robin and Melanie. Robin, Melanie.
I was there all the time.
Yeah, you've gone all the times we investigated. Yeah.
Was it the one where
I thought I saw the feet running up the steps when I was talking to Robin behind her? Do you remember that?
Was that the one where I just gotten off of surgery? And
yeah, I think, and you just stayed downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were eating dinner, and I was looking at Robin, saw the little feet running. I think that's the only thing I've actually ever seen on a case. And at first I thought it was their cats, but then Jeffro was in the kitchen. And he was like, "Nope, they're both in here with me." So I was like, something just went upstairs.
Right. And they're good on getting evidence because they have their own little camera system. And every once in a while, they'll send us what they call on camera, and it's just amazing.
We don't want to give too much away because we're going to have them on. So maybe we should move on to another section.
Yeah, I know, but they're so interesting.
It's so cool.
Eventually, you'll get to meet them. So, yeah.
What's next?
So, what was like the absolute pivotal moment that said, yes, there is something out there?
Oh, okay.
Well, not really so much out there, but there's something from beyond.
Well, I'll give you a little story. I guess it's going to kind of lead up to that. So my first case was actually like right around the corner from here. I could take you there right after we get done here. It's like literally that close.
Okay.
And then I wasn't quite sure if this is where everyone was supposed to be, and to me we really didn't get anything. And then my second case was kind of the same thing. I didn't really get anything, so it's like I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. So I actually went on a case, and I don't want to give it too much away because if people are in the area, they'll be able to figure out the house. But it was in the Lexington, Batesburg area. And we're investigating, and it's about halfway through the night, and I decided I need to go to the bathroom. So I excuse myself, and I go to the bathroom. And as I'm coming out of the bathroom, another member is coming into the bathroom. and we both hear this with our ears, and we just stop and look at each other. I was like, "You hear that?" He's like, "You hear that?" I heard that. So we went out and got the lead investigator, and he came back inside, and we're trying to figure out what it could possibly be. Can we debunk it? Is it a pipe, or what is it? So we're opening closet doors and looking, and we heard it again, and we were just like, what the heck? And there was a basement in this home, which is very uncommon for this area. So we go down in the basement, and couldn't figure out anything down there. So it was something we couldn't explain. And then I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place. I'm on the right team. This is, I'm sticking with it. And ever since then, I love this team. I love everybody on this team. I'm not going anywhere, at least not for a while. Since that moment, I've jumped right in and tried to get us to do things and wanting to get the team, and I just think this team's awesome.
That's cool. That's really cool.
How about you? Did you have a moment?
My moment actually wasn't with the team, but I had went to my friend's house. Mm-hmm. And I've stayed at my friend's house many, 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 many times. She's my best friend. Stayed there overnight. Watched her house sit when she wasn't even around. And this one particular time, they were going for the weekend. They went to Florida. Mm-hmm. And so I had went to their house and stayed the night. Well, in the middle of the night, I heard like a door slam. Mm-hmm. And it slammed so hard, it shook the house. And I woke up, and I heard a woman say, "Don't." Mm-mm. Plain as day. And I was in the bedroom, her son's bedroom, sleeping, and I was like, "Oh, Lord." I'm like, something must have happened on the way down. She's mad about something, and so they're back. So I waited a few minutes, waited for the kitchen light to come on because it's like right next to the room. So, yeah. And I waited and waited and nothing. So I get up, I go check the house. Everything's still off. I go outside and I check to see if their cars are here. The cars aren't even there. And it was so weird because if it was their door to the house, they have a bell, so the bell would have rang. Mm. But it was their bedroom door that shut. So I text her the next morning, and I'm like, "Hey, are you in Florida?" She goes, "Yeah." And because there's no way by the time that I had done it, that they would have gotten to Florida already. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting." She goes, "What's going on?" So I told her what's going on. She goes, "Oh, that's nothing." And I'm like, "What do you mean that's nothing?"
You failed to disclose something?
Yes. And she's like, "We hear that all the time." And it's just like, that was my pivotal moment where I'm like, yes, there's just something here. And she's like, "Well, maybe, someone was trying to mess with you." I said, "I didn't get it that way." So what I got is there's a couple fighting, and she slammed the door. He come out as if to say, "No, don't talk to me."
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so that was like my pivotal moment. Where
that's pretty cool. It's just
my experience, my personal.
You try to explain some things away, and you just can't sometimes.
And there's no way. And this was like in the middle of the night where everybody's asleep. They're on a street to where no one's out. Mm. It's not a busy street, so it's like, what the heck? I mean, the door slammed so hard that it shook the house. Mm. And what was even funnier is their door is always shut.
Yeah, so it's like it opened it to shut it?
It's as though they didn't even open it. It's just the sound of the shut.
Oh, so it's kind of like maybe residual energy.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
And if you don't know what residual energy is, it's more of like, instead of it being an actual spirit, it's like a recording of intense energy or something. So an example of residual energy I heard recently was like, if I come in here and I screamed in this room, and residual energy doesn't mean someone has to be dead. So I came in here and I screamed in this room, and then a year later Carolyn comes in and she hears a scream. That's an example of residual energy. So it's like the surroundings were playing it back.
Right.
So that's kind of maybe what you...
And kind of like, I don't want to say this, but when a lot of these people hit recordings of like cannon fire that's going on, like when Gettysburg does it. When they hear the cannons go off, that's like residual because at that time that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm. So what's been your favorite team trip since you've been on the team, you've been organizing? What's your favorite place you've been to?
My favorite place I've been to was just recently. We went to Ashburn, Georgia, to the Crime and Punishment Museum. And I'm going to give a little plug to them because they are just an awesome group, and it was so much fun. Because when I went there, I actually had 2 experiences while I was there.
I had one, I think. You tell yours first, then I'll tell mine.
Well, the first experience I had, we were up in the jail cell area. And right in front of the jails, there's like a place where we were sitting. And all of a sudden, I got this feeling as though I was rushed by people just yelling at me. And it's not so much, anger yelling. It's like frustration yelling. And when you get that feeling, it's almost as though you're having anxiety and like an attack. Which, it's not what I was having. It was just that feeling. And I had to leave the building. And it wasn't until after I got out of the building and into the parking lot that I was fine and I was relaxed. Mm-hmm. And it was just that intense feeling of someone in your face yelling at you.
Yeah. That place was really cool. I wish we can go back. Which we probably can, but...
We can go back anytime, It was just amazing. I would love to go back again.
So what was your other experience you had?
My other experience was actually during the day where we were kind of in a downtime. And I was sitting on my cot, looking at my phone. And I just happened to... My elbows are like resting on my knees and looking down at my phone. And I happened to stop and got up, talked to you. And I was looking at other investigators and just talking with them. And next thing I know, I looked down at my left hand and I had a bite mark.
Yeah. We got pictures. She's got pictures of that somewhere.
And I didn't feel it or anything until like a minute or two later, the underneath of my palm started hurting as if, someone bit your hand, but I felt the underneath of it. And I was not anywhere near to where something was sitting on top of me. My hand was out in the open. And that was just like
But there's also spirits of kids there too, so maybe a kid.
Yeah,
how kids like to bite, so...
Well, according to the person that was there, the jail deputy, way back when he was there, his son, in that room where I had the bit, which is now called the juror's room, but that was actually his bedroom back then. He actually stayed in that room, and when he was in that room, to the right of it is a doorway, which led into where they have the replica of the
electric chair.
The electric chair. He saw a little girl standing there. And so I'm thinking maybe it might have been her, that I'd done something to make her mad. Yeah. And she just bit my hand. And this is in the middle of the day. This was like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when this happened.
And a lot of people think that nighttime is the only time you really see ghosts and stuff happening. But, that's not true. Spirits are around all the time and anything happen. We've had cases where we've come in the afternoon because a client has said, hey, I got this happening every day at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you come check it out?
But we like to investigate at night because there's less noise level and you can focus a little more. So it's easier to hear.
Yep, less contamination. And the thing that I had happen, which we got it on recording somewhere, but I think Jenny's recording of it sounds better than mine does. But I think we were about to leave and come back downstairs because we kind of broke up while we were there in groups. So some people would like chill out in like the living quarters of the jail where the deputy would have lived at, while some of us went up and investigated. So I think it was just me and her were up there. And we were standing there talking, we were about to leave, and we heard like a piece of metal like tap another piece of metal. It was like a little ting! And we were just like, what was that? That was really weird. We actually got a lot of the REM pod went off a lot up there too.
Yes.
that night, and we did some Facebook Lives on that. I think we got the room pod on the Facebook Live too. So if y'all want to go back to was it September? Yeah, we went in the beginning of September, wasn't it? To the jail.
I'm trying to think.
I can't
drawing a blank.
But if you want to go back, go back and check out some of our Facebook Lives from that. You can go on our Facebook and check that out.
Because I do have the picture of my bite mark on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we did like 3 or 4 Facebook Lives that are on there. And my favorite place I think we've ever done team trip was not when you coordinated, but that's no shade. Because you do a good job. But this was a little bit before your time, or you had just joined. It was Old South Pittsburgh, and that's currently closed. There's a new owner, but they're working on it getting fixed up. But it was just so massive. It was so big compared to the any place we've been since then. And there's like we could probably take 20 head of people and never run into each other, or it'd be an hour before you run into each other. It's so big. You got so many EVPs, moans. The current owner is working on fixing up, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna not be as creepy when if we ever go back, or when we ever go back. But that place was just really cool. I'm one of those people who want to urban explore, but I don't want a trespassing charge.
Right.
So that kind of place would be like ideal for urban exploring, and then you can urban explore that. And there's stirrups in there. There's a picture of me somewhere in one of them. The old X-ray machine. So it's like they got up and they left stuff. There's files. I found someone's marriage license laying in there. I found congratulations on your child birth card or something, like someone received, and when they just closed the hospital, they got up and they just left all that. It's a really cool place, and I think the new owners are going to take really good care of it and clean it up and fix it up. So
yeah, excited
to check it out maybe again one day.
And if anybody's listening and they happen to know someone who can get us into Bull Street.
Yes, that was something I wanted to talk about. We don't necessarily even have to investigate Bull Street. Just let us in for an hour to take pictures and I'll be happy. Like,
that's all we ask.
Yes, all I ask.
Just a
give me an hour.
Plug there.
Give me an hour to run around there as much as I possibly can and see as much as I possibly can for an hour, and then after I'm done, and I'll never ask to go back in there again. But we always joke and say, I think they're planning on turning that into apartments. Last I heard, and I always jokingly say, "Well, I'm going to get in there one way or the other."
Absolutely.
So it's either before you fix it up, or either someone's going to call me and I'm going in there. So.
And just like any other paranormal group, we have our little bucket list of places we would like to go.
Yeah. Oh, and we don't trespass. That's why we said we want permission.
Yes. And if anybody knows, please.
Yeah. But yeah, we do have a bucket list, and we're trying to work on that a little bit more for next year. So I think we're looking at Trans-Allegheny for next year, possibly.
Yes, Trans-Allegheny.
So that'll be really good. It's not official yet, but we're definitely looking into that.
Yes.
Awesome. What's after that?
Well, like everybody's bucket list, we want to go to Waverly.
Mm-hmm. Waverly, the Ohio
Waverly.
State Penitentiary.
I have Pennhurst.
In Pennhurst. But yeah, we love doing our team trips, but one of the things we mostly focus on is like clients' homes. So people message us, and we head out to their home and see if we can find out if anything's actually going on in their home or not. But that's our main focus, and team trips are second.
Yes, and we do this, free of charge for our clients. We don't charge anything at all because we don't feel as though we should.
Nope.
And those that do, just, that's not right.
I mean, I would totally, quit my job right now if I got paid to go hunt, but
yes.
But I wouldn't, want to, hey, $200 or whatever to come out to your house and blah, 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 or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
no.
If anybody ever wants to charge you for any of that, run away. Find somebody else.
Yes.
Find us. But yeah, we have been doing this for a long time, and I can see myself doing it. Some people get burnt out, but I see myself doing it for a long time.
No, because I'm always like, when's the next case?
Yeah.
When's the next case?
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
And I've been busy here lately and haven't been able to do any of them, so I'm like, I'm really raring to go now. And so...
And what makes it so better is when you go to a client's home, you investigate, and you do validate what they say, and you help them out as much as possible. And when they come back and say thank you, we just needed to know. It's
even
like
if you
the best
can't,
feeling in the world.
or even if you can't validate it, and you can show them, say, hey, this is what's going on. You need to get these wires checked, or blah blah blah. And they're so grateful that you came out and did that for them, and you did it free of charge. That's a payment on its own. Like,
yes.
That the client I was speaking about, where I got my name on the EVP, she's one of my favorite people because she actually keeps up with me. I hear from her every once in a while, and we have that. We grow relationships with our clients, so I hear from her like maybe once every 2 months or something like that. And one of the things I did for her one year was she had 7 kids, in a 3-bedroom duplex, and wanted to help them out for Christmas, so I raised $936 for them for Christmas for last year, so that they could have a good Christmas. Because what better way of bringing in positive energy in someone's home who's having a lot of ghost stuff and negativity. Well, they didn't have a whole lot of negativity, but they were kind of freaked out. So what better way to make them feel good and bring that good vibe into a home than help them out at Christmas time? Right. So that was one of the things I did, and I think that's one of the awesomest things I think I've ever done on the team. And
we do the whole state of South Carolina, and we have members in practically the 4 corners of the state, so to speak. Well, the tri-state, because kind of look like a triangle. Yeah. So, and I take that back.
And doing this, I have I've gone to places I've never heard of in the state. So it's like, we have a case coming up somewhere in central South Carolina. I've never heard of central South Carolina. And so when I saw that on the thing, I was like, well, I've never heard of that one. And so one of the things I do is I'll look up the town, see where it is, and if it's feasible for me to drive for that case, or if there's another member in the area that's kind of near there, I'll be like, hey, can I crash at your house after the case? I'll come do it, but I don't want to drive back 2.5 hours. So that's one of the things we do, too.
Yeah, and unlike me, who I've lived in New York, and I've only been in this state for going on 10 years. Well, I take that back, go back on 9 years, every town to me is like new, and it's like, okay. Yeah.
Because I'm down from, like, where I'm from, there's no Walmart. Like, and you tell people there's no Walmart, no movie theater, they're like, what? Where are you from? I'm like, Hampton. They're like, where's that? It's in the middle of nowhere, but you can get everywhere from there. So it's like Savannah's this way, Hilton Head's that way, Baltimore's over here, Columbia's like an hour 45. So you can get everywhere from there, but there's nothing there.
And I'm from the Rock Hill area, so.
Well, she lives in the Rock Hill area now.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll be moving closer to me soon so we can chill.
Yes, definitely.
But you're originally from New York?
Yes.
Tell us about that. Like, what area of New York were you from?
I'm from central New York in the Finger Lakes area. A little tiny town called Lyons. And it's a tiny town. And
any ghosts in Lyons?
I'm sure there is.
But they all moved out too?
Yes, they're all like, no thanks, I'm done with this town. We're out.
Yeah.
We'll go somewhere else.
Kind of like most people from small towns. No shade against small towns, but I'm from a small town, and you have to go back every now and then, even if you move out.
No, you don't.
Not lying.
I'm like done with New York. New York doesn't exist for me anymore. This is like my home now, so I'm what you call a damn Yankee. As you Southerners call us, damn Yankees.
My mom's from the North. I don't say that
to her face.
But so one of the cool things that's happened to us while we were on the way to a case was, someone had come up to us at Lizard Man.
Yes.
And was telling us about how she grew up in this jail in Beaufort and how she wanted to write a book. And we haven't heard from her since then, so I guess she didn't.
No, she's from a publishing company, too. So
she wanted to write a book, but she wanted us to investigate it, and then she was going to write about it and her experiences apparently growing up there when she was a child. So we had a case in Beaufort, so we're like, oh, well, on the way, we're going to drive by. We'll take some pictures on the outside. We're not going to go inside because that's one of our big rules, team rules, no trespassing.
Yes.
Trespassing charge isn't worth it. So we rode by, and as we were pulling up, well, before we pulled up, Darlene called us.
Yeah, Darlene called us.
And she was like, your case has canceled. So we're like, oh crap, we came all the way to Beaufort for nothing. I guess while we're here, I'll show Carolyn around because I'm kind of near from near that area.
And so, I know nothing about it. Yeah. Never been.
So as we pull up to the jail to get out and take pictures, another car pulls up right next to us at the same time. And they get out and they walk around the back of the building, and we're, up front taking pictures, and the door is open. So Carolyn's kind of sticking her camera in, but not going in taking pictures.
Right.
And the owner comes back around, and she,
I
didn't know it was the owner. Yeah. I was like, we're not trespassing, we're just taking pictures for the doors open. And she was like, oh, I own the building, you can go in, just don't fall, don't get hurt. And take as many pictures as you want. And we were like kids in a candy shop.
Yes,
so talk about right place at the right time. Somebody was like, oh, I'm going to work this out for you so you can at least go in there. So I think I was like so distracted by everything. I took a few pictures, but I was just like running around trying to see as much as I could before the lady wanted to leave.
And so I took a lot
and I was like, Carolyn, keep taking pictures. Keep taking pictures. Because I was like, I keep forgetting to do it.
And we posted it on our page, and we're just like, jealous much. Yeah. We got to go.
That was just an awesome moment that we got to do. That was right place, right time. Like, it'd be really cool if she calls us in a few months and says, hey, there's some weird stuff coming on, you want to come back? Because we did leave a card.
And the Beaufort jail, it is a little dilapidated, but if you just to see it, it's such an amazing history. And you really stop and think about half these places, the history that comes with it is an amazement on its own. And to see.
And if she also does what she says she's going to do with it, we might end up in there eventually anyway. So because her plan is to take the place and maybe turn it into apartments. I don't know if she started working on that. Yeah, I don't think so.
She hasn't started on it yet. That last time I heard.
Yeah.
Because I think there was something posted on another page that I follow, and they haven't done anything with it as of yet. It's still in the works.
So then I took you around to some of the other local haunts. I didn't take you to all of them. The Fort Fremont.
Fort Fremont, amazing place.
Yeah, that'd be another cool place to investigate. You'd have to do that in right now because it's probably be really buggy any other time. A lot of mosquitoes were down there when I've been down there before.
Yeah, it was hot that day, and it was like
and then the Chapel of Ease was right up the road. But
you took me to the two
Old Sheldon Church.
Yep.
And then I drove you around the old historical homes and showed you what Haint Blue was, because you never heard that.
Yes, I did not understand.
In case you don't know what Haint Blue is, that is a color blue that I think it comes from the Gullah people, but they paint the ceilings of the porches in the Low Country. It might be in Charleston. I think it's in Charleston and Savannah some too, but it's down that Low Country kind of area. And they believe that color blue keeps the haints away. And some people say the bugs too, but I'm not sure how that.
Because they painted on the ceiling of the porches.
Ceiling. And so they say that it kind of confuses the bugs too. So the bugs think it's the sky and they can't like build a web or a nest there. But I don't know how true that actually is or if that actually works.
It still was the coolest thing in the world to see.
Cool. Yeah.
Because being from New York and coming down here, the culture alone is just.
We have more of the folklore.
So crazy.
That I know. Do you have any kind of folklore kind of stuff like that in New
York? To be totally honest, we don't really value our history up there as much as you guys do down here. And we don't really have any folklore. The only things that I know of in New York right now that have to do with the paranormal is the Rolling Hills Sanitarium. And the Hinsdale House is in New York.
Where's the Rolling Hills Sanitarium?
The Rolling Hills Asylum is, I can't think of where exactly it is right now, but it's an old mental hospital where they just, the treatment of these people were so horrible.
What area was it in?
It's God, I can't think of it right now.
Because there's Cause
it's like a little over just an hour away from where I'm at.
So it's not near New York City, right?
No. Okay, it's like in
I had a client
Watertown area
that was
somewhere
from,
around there.
She said she lived across the street from the old mental asylum after it closed. So I was just curious.
It's nowhere near.
But I think she was in New York City.
Yeah, it's nowhere near New York City. It's like in central New York, and then I think the Hinsdale House is more like northern New York, and that is supposed to be the craziest house around, the most evil haunted house around.
Is that the one that's legally classified as a haunted house? I know there's a home somewhere up north, and they have to, if you sell it, they have to disclose it as a haunted house.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And supposedly they were going to destroy it, but it's still standing to this day. That I do know, if you've watched the one with Nick Groff there, the Paranormal Lockdown, he's done an investigation there.
I don't think I've seen that one.
And he says that the place is just crazy. It's pure crazy.
Cool.
So them are the only two that I know in New York, in that area. So, but there's just more history and more places to investigate down here than up there.
Yes and no. There are more places to investigate or claim to be haunted. But there's a lot of places here that don't want you to investigate. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess it's insurance or liability.
Right.
Maybe issues, but it's like, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do Bull Street, but they're not going to let you go in there. And there's not like a place. Well, I guess you kind of do have it at the Charleston jail and the Chester jail. But there's no big, famous place in the state that they let you like come and investigate, like an Old South Pittsburgh or a Waverly.
Well, you got the Charleston jail.
Yeah. But I guess I'm talking about scale. Or the Charleston jail is kind of famous. It is probably our most famous
because that's the one where the first ever serial killer,
Lavinia Fisher. Well, which legend says, but they have no proof to back this up, says that, when she was executed, she told them, does anyone have a message for the devil? Because I will be dining with him tonight.
Yes.
So that would, I can't wait to go there and do that in a few weeks. So hopefully we'll have a lot of stuff on that.
We're going November 10th. So
November 10th.
Exciting.
This will actually probably come out maybe right before. Maybe I'll put it out earlier. We'll see. I was thinking about putting these out around November 13th. But maybe I'll put it out before if we get everything wrapped up and ready to go before then. So one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about is how diverse our group is. We have all kinds of backgrounds.
And we do not discriminate either.
We have, members from different faiths, different religions, different sexualities. And we don't discriminate as long as you can get along with everybody. Different political beliefs is another thing. Like, we got Republicans and Democrats and independents and probably...
Which we really try to avoid talking about because that's just a starter in itself.
So the thing with our group is, I tell people, if you can get along with anybody, this is the group for you. So...
we have a Clemson fan and we have a Gamecock fan, and they get along.
They get along. They kind of pick on each other a little bit, but they get along pretty good. Like Angie and Robin are pretty good about giving each other a little bit of hell. And we're pretty diverse.
And we're diverse when it comes to our clients too, because we turn no one away at all. It's just we're there for our clients, and that's pretty much what we're about. Gay clients,
straight clients, a few black clients. It's not common because not people say I don't do that stuff is what they tell me. My coworkers at work. So, but yeah, had all kinds of people.
And it's been such an.
That's another cool thing though, is like you meet different types of people like you would never have met doing this. So you get clients that are police officers, teachers. I had someone from the DOT as a client one time, and it's just you never know who you're gonna get, what neighborhood you're going to, if the house is a really nice big house or you're gonna go to a house that's a little sketchy sometimes. But we take everyone, we don't turn anyone away.
Right.
And we just want to help people out.
When we go on investigations, we like to use all sorts of different types of equipment. We have DVRs, which is like a security system that we go ahead so we can capture any evidence that you see. We normally have 4 cameras set up.
Which video equipment
Video
is
equipment.
it's a little hard to get good evidence that way, but we do have
We have quite a few, you know. I know, like, the first video that I thought was pretty interesting on my part is you weren't on this investigation, and I was in the dining room area watching the DVR system, and right next to me was the living room area. Well, they had this lamp hanging down, and
I think I saw the video of that, though.
yeah, the fan was constantly, you know, it was blowing out, so it was just kind of like a steady blow. And the other investigators, one was down in, I don't want to say the basement area, but it was like a bedroom down there, and the other two were up in the bedrooms upstairs, so I was the only one downstairs, because the owner of the house was also upstairs in their bedroom. And so I was sitting there watching the video, and next thing you know, right before you see this happening, there's like, as though someone took a picture. It was like a flash of light. And then the light that was hanging down just started swinging. I'm like, really swinging. And there was no way that the fan that was blowing on it could have done it, because it would have done it before then, or after then, since, and it was though someone walked by and hit it with their head or something to make it swing like that. So that was like the pretty good first evidence I caught on video that we had done.
My favorite piece of video evidence, I don't want to talk about right now because I want Angie to talk about it because she was there. So
future
one. So that's my favorite thing to show people, though, when they're like, "Oh, you got any cool evidence?" You know, when they find out, you know, you're a paranormal investigator, you know, ghost hunter, they're like, "Oh, let me see what you've got." And I'll pull that one up. So, but I want to save that for when Angie's on, so she can talk about it.
Right, and we also use the K2s, which we talked about earlier.
Voice recorder. Yeah, I think you already
the voice recorders. The REM pods.
Yep.
We talked about.
My new favorite piece.
I don't think I've had a chance to use that yet.
Really?
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, I haven't had.
Well, we had it for a few months, and you know, nothing really went off until we went to Bill and Melanie's recently for our 11th, you know, birthday party, and we brought it out at their house, and it went off.
Yes, that's right, because we started talking about one particular thing. And when we were talking about that, I remember what we were talking about. And
we had a few drinks, so it's a little hard to remember.
No, I remember what we were talking about, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say what it was about. And that thing just went crazy. Yeah. And it was not going off the whole entire night we were there until we started talking about this one particular subject.
And then the K2 started going off.
And then the K2 started going off. Well, we started with the K2s. And then we decided to put the REM pod there.
Yeah, because we moved the REM pod because it was near the air conditioner. So because we thought maybe the air from the air conditioner was blowing it and making it go off. So we moved it over to the other side of the room. It was a window unit, and we didn't want it near the window unit. And then that's when it started going. Yeah. We put it on the table, and like a minute or two later, it started going off. And then we put the K2s next to it, and they all started going off.
Yes. And then one of the investigators in training started asking if it would move around. Well, it started moving around.
Because like the REM pod lights up depending on what side or how close you are. It lights. Certain lights will light up. So the closer you are to it, or you know, to the center of it, the more it lights up.
Right. What other equipment do we have? We have a thermometer.
Yeah, thermometers.
Which you point and it will tell you what the thermometer on that, and if you get hot spots, cold spots.
Yeah, cold spots.
Which is something I haven't ever experienced, was a cold spot.
I don't think I've found one yet either.
Yeah, I haven't had any experience on that.
We got ghost touches, or these are like little devices. If something touches the string on them, they go off. Or one of them's the antenna, and that one's the one that Will's trying to fix for us.
We have a Boo Bear.
Oh well, I don't call her Boo Bear. She's not a bear. She's a
I
little.
Thought we had a Boo. No, we got.
I want a Boo Bear. We have Creepy Baby, as I like to call it. And it's called Creepy, and most people agree with me by that name because if it's a little doll, it's like a shadow detector, or if you touch it, it will laugh. So if you leave that little demon spawn in a bedroom and no one's in there and it goes off, it's creepy. It's creepy when you turn it on and it laughs. The laugh is just creepy. I don't think I have it on me. I think Angie has it in her set.
Angie has
or I would let everyone hear it. Maybe we could find a video and pull up and see if everyone agrees how creepy it is.
Yes.
But let me see if I can find one real bit quick. But we also have a geophone, which kind of picks up, seismic movements, or like if so you put it on the bed and there's no one in the room and something sits on the bed or moves the bed, it will light up.
Yes.
Results found. No, that was supposed to be the okay. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna find it.
What if you do Creepy Baby or something?
I don't see, and most places don't sell the baby doll anymore. We've had her for a while. They sell the Boo Bear, which I don't know.
Instead of doing shadow detecting, just do.
No, now we're getting weird videos.
Have you ever seen them videos though?
No, I've seen that one.
That
one needs a stake in the heart. But no, I can't find that video, so I can't find it. But maybe we'll have Angie bring Creepy Baby, and we'll interview Creepy Baby next.
Yes.
When we have her on, or whenever we see Bill. I don't know. No. Yeah, Angie's got Creepy Baby right now.
Yeah,
so.
she's got.
Alrighty. So is there anything else we need to discuss? Or do you want to wrap it up?
We can wrap it up and
Okay. So I believe that's it for our first episode. If you would like to give us a donation to kind of help our team out, we're in the middle of updating a lot of our equipment. We've gotten pretty far in the last year of doing that. But a lot of our equipment's is as old as this team is, 11 years old, so it's getting outdated and getting old. Breaking, some of it's breaking, some of it we're able to fix, some of it we're not. So anything y'all can throw away, even if it's just $1, we would really like to be able to take that and use that. That could go towards at least batteries or something.
Yes, because there is equipment that that is breaking, but then we also have our, as you call, really want equipment.
Yeah. Our dream equipment.
Our dream equipment.
like we'd love to have a thermal camera on the team, and we don't have one of those yet because those are really expensive. I might look into see if we can get us some of those phone. Those are a whole lot cheaper, but they're still like $300 the things for the phone. So if anything could help, then we'd really appreciate it.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll probably have another one of these out in about a month.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes. Are you looking for a gift for your paranormal loving friend or family member?
Then check out our online store at our webpage at SCPRAI.org.
We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and tote bags.
A portion of the proceeds go to funding our team and updating equipment.